Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to this week's session of 1 Million Cups. And let's, everyone, please give yourselves a round of applause just for being here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drake Pfeiffer. I'm a small business consultant with Oakland Drive. Oakland Drive is a support arm of the Oakland County Economic Development Department. And we are here, myself and 12 other consultants in the county, here to support small businesses, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs make their way through this business ecosystem, the small business ecosystem, and connect you to resources that can help you do what our name suggests, and that is to thrive. So we are in that mode, happy to be the premier sponsors of 1 Million Cups, which has become a crusade all of its own, thanks to the likes of everyone here, and thanks to the likes of everyone who's going to be presenting today. And I just want to give a shout out. First of all, I want to get a show of hands of all the folks that have been here since day one. And awesome. And I want to get a show of hands of the people who've been here since the beginning of the year. Awesome. And I want to get a show of hands of all the folks that are here for the very first time. Awesome, okay? You get a prize. You get a prize. Yeah, so 1 Billion Cups is a weekly meetup that takes place in over 100 different cities throughout the nation. It was started by the Kauffman Foundation in 2012, and because to me, it's the best meetup in Oakland County. And, you know, I would say in Metro Detroit, we are Metro Detroit, so I can say in Metro Detroit. And it is where entrepreneurs connect to entrepreneur supporters. We create communities. This is certainly a community, a growing one at that. And we have a culture of support and inclusivity. And again, this is happening in 100 different places. And if you present here in Detroit, you can go anywhere else where there's a 1 Million Cups program and present there. If you're traveling to Baltimore, Atlanta, if you're on the other side of the state in Kalamazoo, you can sign up to be a presenter at a 1 Million Cups there. So you can present as a presenter here once every 6 months. But if you want to present at 100 times, you can do that if you want to go to all 100 plus chapters around the country. And so I want to make an appeal. Today, we almost did not have a presenter, but someone that you know, if you've been coming here, one of our fearless leaders here is a presenter today, signed up for it to keep me from having to tap dance. And so we are happy to be we're happy to have a presenter today, but certainly are looking for presenters to put in the queue so that we can keep this ball rolling and make certain that the ideas are flowing and we have the opportunity to provide the feedback to the entrepreneurs that are coming through our ranks. Organizers, we always are looking for co-organizers. Raise your hand if you're an organizer on the 1 Million Cups committee. And this is just a few of them. There's a lot of them, but we always need more. One thing that we need someone to help us put together a regular newsletter so that we can send out updates relative to 1 Million Cups. So if you have that skill set and you don't mind putting together a newsletter, please see our Grand Poobah Daryl about that. And also, we have a need for coffee sponsors. In order to get to drinking 1 million cups of coffee, we have to have someone sponsor that coffee, which today we are glad to have a wonderful sponsor of the coffee, someone who I've known for quite a long time. So I'm glad that we have our coffee sponsor today. I want to invite her up. Her name is Lydia Michaels of the Blended Collective. I've known Lydia for the last 15 years. Lydia and I have worked in the entertainment sector and she is a chock full of knowledge. I'm going to invite Lydia up as soon as she gets, Lydia, you can come on up and present. Let's give Lydia.
I can't say just a moment to clear to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ray. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. I love the energy. Matter of fact, this is why I wanted to sponsor coffee today. I saw some social media action. Thank you, Cyrus, by the way. Saw some social media action and saw a room full of people for all of these 1 million cups events. And I was like, what is this? I want to be a part of this. And I reached out to Daryl, connected, and here I am now. I'm gonna try and stand in the middle, yes? Okay, I'm not moving. So, yeah. Blended Collective is my company. It's a marketing and brand consulting firm. I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. Had a few other things I was busy in with entertainment and music and lots of different things I did prior to that, lots of culture and linguistic training as well. And so was trying to find my journey in this space after spending a couple of years back in Germany at the time and came back to Detroit late 2016, which if any of you were here at the time, you'll remember that Detroit was kind of reinventing itself. And I was trying to find my way back in and figure out a way to not only do something I'm passionate about, but also provide value in the community and to our clients. And, you know, having done marketing and international marketing for a very long time, I was trying to find a gap of how we can fit in, but also kind of stand out when it comes to what we do, right? So at the time, and this was in 2017, I didn't really see a lot of cultural connections when it came to marketing. It was, you know, your traditional type of marketing, and I wanted to incorporate what I loved doing, which was culture and the linguistic side of it, but intertwine that with marketing. And so that was kind of our sweet spot. That has been our sweet spot, is how can we incorporate cultural but also emotional elements in marketing. Really big part of what we believe is that marketing should always feel human. And this is really where I think a lot of it has been lost when we look at marketing, especially now in the age of AI and the internet. It's very easy to lose your voice. And so our focus is really helping businesses that we work with, whether that's a nonprofit organization, a small business, a startup. You know, we do a lot of technical assistance services statewide, or we work with cities and counties, but really helping them understand not only how they can reach their customer in the best way possible, but also how they can incorporate cultural elements, emotional elements that make them feel human and that make them connect in the best way possible. I actually wrote a book a couple of years ago that I published called Brand Love. And that one really focuses on the emotional and the rational elements and how the most successful organizations and businesses connect with their customers through emotions, right? And so, yeah, that's sort of the core of Blended Collective. I'll talk a little bit about how we do those things. And there's some of the services, some of the core services I tried to put on here of what we focus on, but you're welcome to also go to our website, blendedcollective.com. But I really want to focus a little bit on our process, because I think that besides the cultural element, is also another key differentiator as to how we do things at Blended Collective. Really, the process of collaboration is super important. So after connecting, you know, with our ideal customers, we also make sure that this is a collaborative effort. And this is sometimes where we gain a lot of clients, but also sometimes where we have to say, I don't know if you're the right fit, right? It's a two-way street. And I like to remind people of that, because I think sometimes, especially when it's a program where the project might be funded, clients come through and they think, okay, I've selected my provider and they're going to do this for me, and I can lay back and, you know, check back in a month when everything's done. This is not how we work, right? It's really all about collaboration at the end of the day. It's your project. It's, you know, your value that you're walking away with. We want to make sure that we empower you to be able to do more of that on your own as well. So for us, it's a true collaboration, where we spend some time to really truly understand and ask the right questions. And this is another thing I learned along the journey, is asking the right questions, right? I sometimes feel like I'm a doctor in a business room or something, where I'm trying to identify, what the issue is, because sometimes you're told, I feel this, or I have that, or I think I need that, and that might not be it. So really helping identify the issue, asking the right questions, collaborating, creating is obviously a really big part. And this is where we go back to the drawing board and create everything that we've promised, to the client. And finally we cultivate. And this is where we grow and we retain and try to really build that loyalty and trust in the marketing journey. So we not only do that, with our clients, but we help other clients really build that loyalty with their customer base. And this is where we find also, again, more value in the journey versus just, finishing up a project, delivering that, and that's kind of it. So I'm going to stick around here for the event. I'm happy to connect with all of you here. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what everybody does. Again, you're welcome to visit our website, blendedcollective.com, connect with us on social media, and yeah, looking forward to meeting some of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you. Thank you. And Lydia, that's when you're a coffee sponsor, that's what you get to do. You get to do a commercial for your business. And it just so happens that Lydia happens to be one of our B2B consultants, and you can see how talented she is. And we have a number of them in the room. So if you are an Oakland Thrive business consultant, please raise your hand. Makes not you citing, some of the B2B consultant. So yeah, so if you see anybody who you see raised with their hands raised, they are an Oakland Thrive B2B consultant. And Lydia, that was awesome, awesome sauce. So they are there to help you. I want to give a shout out to Josh and Karmen of Incubizos for providing this space. Of course, you all know we were across the street, and now we're over here. We started over there, now we're here. So this is a very, I think, this spot has a warmth to it that across the street it was definitely more industrial over there. There's a warmth over here, Josh, that I'm feeling the vibe of this whole thing over here. So thankfully, again, I said I'm not gonna have to tap dance. We have Karmen, are you ready? We have our fearless Incubizo leader, Karmen, coming to present. So let's round of applause. Let's give Karmen a rousing welcome to the stage.
Hello, sign in. No, but for real, the tablet's walking. My name is Karmen. My handle is Elaine Photo. My name is Karmen Elaine, and I'm a photographer. So I stepped up to present today, and we're gonna try. So what you want to do? I push the big button?
One on the right.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, there we go.
Okay. This one? Okay, so just to start, I started taking pictures simply to get into concerts for free. My brother was in bands playing all around in Detroit, and I was the little sister that was just tagging along. And back then, it didn't really matter if you were good at taking photos, but you got into shows for free. So that's what I did. And they were awful. I will share my photo bucket with you. They're bad. But I got into shows for free. I started interning with Live Nation, and I wanted to be a talent buyer. That's what I wanted to do, was book and promote shows. I did that in Ann Arbor. That was my first. That was my first like business that I started in 2003. I went broke very quickly, as we do on our first business. I was booking shows at the shelter in St. Andrews, and that felt really good, and able to get bands in from across the country. That felt really good. And then after I graduated at high school in 2004, so 2005, I was just driving all around the Midwest, following around Christian rock bands, because that's what you do. And then I moved to Chicago in 2007, and I tripped and fell into Chicago nightlife, which was a lot of fun because also you drink for free. And then I quickly realized that, you know, you would take a $30 cab to drink for free, to take a $30 cab and end up with 20 bucks. So that wasn't really any money, but I was around and people started to get to know me, and that was awesome. So then I started to build my creative portfolio, just getting to know people that wanted to get their projects photographed, and started working on more creative projects that way. And started working at restaurants, doing social media when you had to post on separate social media channels at a time, photographing food and drinks, doing time lapses with Photoshop, and that took hours at the time because Instagram wasn't a thing yet. And then I moved back home in 2018, and I was working at the Shinola Hotel, was able to do some photography there with NoHo Hospitality, which was like a huge thing because that's a New York hospitality group. I felt like I had made it, and then COVID happened. So that was very tricky. When I moved back home, I thought I was going to nail it and get into food and beverage really easy since I was doing it in Chicago, but it was very difficult because there are a handful of food photographers and stylists that have that industry on lock that I couldn't quite get into. Like there's truly 5 food photographers that have swept over like Eater magazine and Hour magazine, and it's the same people, and it's hard to break into. But lately, since 2021, I decided to start my own family by myself, and I have a 3-year-old, and he's insane. And in 2021, I booked my first photo gig with somebody that found me online, Taquian Brookins. If any of you know her, you need to know her in the nonprofit space. And since knowing her, my life has changed. I have a roster of like 20 nonprofits that I get to shoot for and get involved with. And so my primary industry now is corporate events and the nonprofit sector. So that's to her. Shout out to Taquian forever. So when I was in Chicago, I played roller derby, and my roller derby name is Rude E. Huxtable. Help me, Daryl. I went all the way back.
Here, Chelsea.
And so that is why my photo handle was Rude Photo. And so those are my renditions of my logo are all over there. But then I started shooting weddings, and you can't put Rude Photo on a wedding. I mean, you could, and I did, but it was strange. Okay. So if you go to my website, or if you look at my business cards, it says people, places, and things. And my mission is to help you look as good as the work you create. Not all the time now, but it used to be if you were going to a restaurant or if you were going out someplace, you would look it up and you would say, all right, I want to go to this restaurant. What does the food look like? Or I heard a referral about this person. What are their reviews like? Just to get an idea if you wanted to go. And if the food photos were bad, you were like, I don't know, that probably doesn't look good. And it could be delicious food. But if it doesn't look like it's good, you're probably not gonna like chase down that restaurant. So I just wanted to share. Oh, formatting is weird, but people. I do portraits, high portraits with like a big light at parties and events. So used to call them photo booths, but set them up at like bars in the middle of like dance floors and have people get high quality photos emailed to them. So no printing or anything like that because the quality usually isn't super high quality. So I would like shoot in RAW, edit them, lots of time, high quality photos so people would have them. First birthdays, weddings, 1 million cups, of course. Things like that. People, places, restaurants, hotels, Incubizo at the top. That's a furniture store in Chicago called Humboldt Park, Centric Place in Farmington Hills. Things could span from product photography for the Chicago Portfolio School, for the seniors, for their senior projects, food, restaurants. I did Jazz Fest for Lolly Wine. They paid me to go out and do the full weekend of just like people taking photos with their bottles of wine, which was awesome and way too much money to thank you. And Ian LaBelle, his car detailing is great. So that's just some more samples of those things. So what's worked so far? Word of mouth and referrals. That's it. That's my bread and butter. I don't do ads. I haven't ever run an ad. And then repeat clients, I have those in the bag, which is really good. What's not working? Mini sessions. I don't understand. 75 bucks. Show up for 30 minutes. Get 50 photos of your family. It's done. I don't understand. People don't want to do it. They don't show up. I don't get a deposit. My bad. And then it's a waste of everyone's time. Too many sub or niche categories, maybe. I am a part and heavily involved in the LGBTQ plus community and I'm proud of it. And a lot of my portfolio is a little spicy. So, you know, when you photograph something for the Detroit Regional Partnership and then they go to your website, it might get weird. So that might be part of the issue is, you know, those client referrals might see all of the work and that might get weird. So help. And then there is low engagement on social media, but what is engagement on social media? I don't know if it's about views or likes or follows. It doesn't make any sense. I think we all understand that it changes every day. What I need from you? I need a logo. After years and years of doing this, you've seen it. I had one person do a logo one time, and that was the first one. Resources or referrals on larger projects. I did the Adolescent Health Initiative Symposium at U of M, and that was massive and awesome. And that's once a year, which is cool. But if I had more of those 1 years, I'd be very happy with that. Suggestions on insurance for gear. I had a drunk person fall on my lens and break the lens off the body. The lens costs more than the body. Like commas more than the body of the camera. So contracts and licensure. So you give people photos and they can use them forever, but they don't have to use them forever. So there are ways to like set up clauses that are like, you can do whatever you want. You can put this on a billboard for 6 months or 6 years. And I don't have any of that set up. And I don't know how, you know, because somebody with Howard Brown in Chicago, for example, could be using my photos from something 20 years ago and still making money off of it in print. And I'm not seeing anything else. So I want to figure out how those usage licenses work and copyright, because none of this is actually mine, turns out. So Tanisha, wherever you are. I know. So I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Karmen. This is the fun part. This is where you are all, they're forgiving that for online. Is it one person?
We have 5 people.
Okay, hello, welcome everybody. Hello, sorry. And thank you for joining us. And this is the fun part where you all get to come up. If you're raising your hand, you can come up and ask your question.
I was gonna help her what she needed.
Yeah, come
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
on.
Yeah, I know it's been a minute since you.
I like the other one, we.
Okay, so my name is Shane and you guys might know me. You guys might know me. I own Filter Cookies, and before this, I was a business strategist. I help people build businesses online and really learn how to find the ideal client and everything. So before that time, I started my business entrepreneur. Oh my God, I can't talk today. As a photographer. So I was a wedding photographer for like 3 or 4 years. So just to help you out, contracts, you can totally go online. There's a lot of lawyers who does specifically work with only wedding photographers, and they will sell you their contracts. And it covers so much. So I use their contract. They cover like mini photo sessions and stuff like that. If you read in detail, that covers so much copyright. How long can they use it? How they can't edit certain photos, that anything has to be given permission to you. As in regards to copyright, the way I used to do it was like, if they were going to use it, they had to credit me. But if they were going to use it entirely for them, I would charge a higher fee. So that's how I would do. So they have exclusive right to it. They can do whatever they want with it. But there was a higher fee because I would have some brides or I would have some clients who would say, you cannot showcase my photos, and I would charge them a fee because I need their portfolio to book more clients. So I would charge like almost $500 to $1,000 for that fee. So just value your worth of what you're providing. And then as for your gear, I have to send you the insurance of who I use, but I think it was Hartford Business, and they cover up to your gear. So I think I only pay like $500 a year, and that covers my business insurance, all my gears. You just have to talk to the consultant, and they list you you list them all the gears, and they cover everything accidental. Anything happens at the event, they cover 100%, and they understand how the wedding industry works. So that really helped me. Hopefully that helped you.
It did. Well, yeah,
It did?
it did.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Carmen, I know you are so talented and I am so excited to find out that you do this for a living because I see all the photos that you provide for us here and they are amazing. So I'll give you a little bit of my experience. First of all, I would suggest 2 websites. One for the fun, more, exotic clients, and then one for your brides. Also, I didn't know this, we both specialize in the nonprofit sector. So I think you and I need to talk because I have a lot of contacts in that industry. So I thought that was interesting. I always thought you were such a great person. Now I can see even more why you are. Did I say Google Business yet? Google Business. Okay. So I use Google Business for my business, and you put everything on there about what you do. And then from there, what you do is whenever you finish a transaction, you ask the person that did the transaction for you to rate you. I do, huh? Sorry.
Bless you.
Okay, so I am the #1 agent in Oakland County because I do that as a regular part of my process. So I'm very process oriented. Microsoft has a program called Planner. You can put your entire process on there, and then every time you have a client, you rename it to that client. So you make sure that you bill, you send out the thank you notes to them, and then you make sure that they do your Google Business and everything that's in your process. Because you are in many things. I can see you are so busy and you're so good at everything you do. It's just simply amazing to watch. So I think that's it. But the Google Business, I would strongly recommend that you take a look at that. Thank you.
We had the opportunity of meeting last week, and I am a photographer. I've been in the business over 35 years. I've traveled the world. I've photographed world leaders, presidents, King Charles, all kinds of people. First of all, your insurance. I have an agent that can get you $3 million worth of business insurance and gear insurance for like $400 a year. Losing my voice. In terms of the contracts, So the lawyers may not agree with this, but you may spend so much time policing those contracts that you're losing business. I let people take the photos, they can use them for however long they want to, not corporations, but individuals. Because they're gonna come back to me because they won't look like they look that day when I photographed. And I get repeat business over and over again. And how I do it is by being the best. When you're the best, people want to refer their friends to you and their colleagues to you. So if you go with that focus in mind, I think that people will say, I'm gonna help you. And then looking the part. When you go on a photo shoot, carrying the certain gear. There are some photo shoots, and I'm telling my secrets, but I would carry a lens like this that I paid almost $10,000 for back in the day. And people want to know who I am, what I'm doing. Oh, she's real estate. And I don't even need that because I can use a lens this short. But it's equipment, it's images, everything. And people want to come up to you and find out more. So it's those stories. And if you online, tell the stories behind the photos. Like you were talking about how you got into the business, using those stories on social media every day, getting people to invest in you, to engage with you. So that it's only a few people, but it's your target market. Do you know who your target market is? Are you reaching out to them? Then you won't have to spend so much time worrying about who doesn't show up for an event. They're going to show up because they see value in what you do. So maybe you're not charging enough for them. People enjoy, they like what they spend money on. I'm saying it wrong because I'm really better behind the camera lens than in front of it. But I've walked this talk and lived it. I've been invited to other countries by presidents to document their lifestyles. I have photographed celebrities, all kind of people. I was Rosa Parks' personal and official photographer, and I'm self-taught. But the thing is, I went through a time when people would look at me and I didn't look like the photographers. So they were either I didn't know what I was doing or I had to be special because obviously I did or I wouldn't be in the room. So again, when you go in with that in mind, just finding your target market, knowing who they are, going where they are, and just one person can become that sound piece for you. You don't need everybody in the room. You focus on 2 or 3 or 3 to 5 of your top potential clients to get those people to become your cheerleaders. And that's by giving them value. That's by giving them sometimes more than what they expect and giving them a great experience. People want the experience. And I'm going to stop before I give you 35 years of experience.
Well, we'll have to talk more because another question that I have that you might be able to help me with too is, and if anybody else, the over delivering is something that I get stuck in as well. You know, nobody wants 1,000 photos to go through nobody wants that. I don't want to edit 5,000 photos. But what else am I going to do with them? So I often over deliver, which then makes me feel like I'm not charging enough, even more so. But then I'm like, I'm going over and beyond. You got a great deal. But then I get stuck in that. So I don't know if that was a question.
I over deliver all the time.
Okay.
I go up to an event, I may shoot 2,000 photos. But I hire someone who edits them. I don't look at it. Once I shoot, I'm done. I'm on to the next job making money. So in terms of that, if somebody else is looking at it, they're going to be more objective for somebody that you train. And it can be an intern. Somebody is learning photography, but they're learning by being with you. And this is a young lady that I've worked with. She graduated from CCS. I didn't because I'm self-taught, but she edits the way we have the same vision. So she narrows it down. And then sometimes I'll go in and just check, well, this is my favorite and make sure it's there. You can also find other photographers, I'll give you that secret later, where they also can edit for you, narrowing it down so you're not giving too much. But I shoot editorially. So I'm going to give you a photo smiling, a photo serious, a photo, all different kind of ways, because newspapers don't just use one type of image. That gives a person more versatility. And that's another reason why people, come to me. So that over delivering sometimes can be a good thing.
Hi, Karmen, how are you? Hi, everyone. It's Melissa McCleary Davis from Wise Digital Marketing. Let me just comment a little bit on over delivering. I think anybody who offers services, that's just part of the game. There's always going to be a level of over delivering. I had a mentor who would tell me that, 10, 15% line item in your budget for over delivering. Because that is just the nature of wanting to be elite and be the best. I wanted to comment on logos, because as a marketer, I do have people who come to me like, I need a new logo. And it goes beyond that. It's more understanding who you are with your brand. And Lydia said it best earlier in terms of what marketing is and how to be human and how to understand your brand. And basically read her book, Brand Love. You guys pick it up. It's an amazing book. So it's beyond just the logo. It is really trying to understand your brand story and who you are. And that kind of will help guide you towards those different larger businesses that you get. Like you mentioned, you want to have more larger accounts. You can get larger accounts, but you're going to find out like, okay, this is not the one I wanted, but you can kind of derive that, having a better understanding from the brand standpoint. So beyond the logo, look at your whole brand guidelines and brand picture. That's going to help. And lastly, I love the name Rude Photo. I love that. It's unique. It's different. It sets you apart. So I just want to mention that too. So,
Thanks. There's also like another Elaine photo in Chicago. I was like, that's my name. It was very, very good. Thanks.
Hi, Karmen. David Benjamin with David Benjamin Consulting. I'm going to touch on the social media engagement, things that you already know, because I know you, but more frequency in posts, right? Like almost every day probably would be a good strategy for your industry. Spending a little bit of money, boosting posts to send people back to your website that you really like the photo or the content in the post, utilizing Instagram stories where you can tag your website to send people there. Then looking at the analytics, which post did I do that brought the most audience, try and kind of dial that in. And those are just some simple things.
I was listening to your story and I felt like I lived through like 5 lifetimes. And you're like, I really love your story. I started not to come up here because I didn't see this under your need help with, but I'm a tech nerd, Jewel and I, Get Crystallized Agency. And so you were talking about those appointments not showing up. And so I had a couple of questions. One is, are you currently using any type of online booking tool for those?
I do it through Calendly
With the reminders and they still don't show up? Okay, so your price needs to be higher. So I think somebody said that already. And then the other thing was in terms of just, you were talking, I'm not a photographer. I don't have any expertise in this area, but I'm a nerdy automation person. And so what I was thinking is, do you use any type of questionnaire for people before you do their photo shoot to kind of gauge what they're interested in?
So I do Calendly for mini sessions. I do like a Mother's Day, a Christmas mini. So these are mini sessions, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Pop in, pop out. That's it. And it's like, this is the backdrop. This is the setting. This is what you get. So that's why it's so like quick. And I set them up. I sit in a room for a day and you show up and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I try to make it as easy as possible. So in that is like, how many people are their pets? What are their ages? The end. And if there's a pet, there's a fee. So I try to get those questions answered while they're booking so that I know what to expect, like how many people, so that I can reset up the room or do whatever. But those are the only questionnaires in those sorts of things.
For the bigger, well, like when you were
For the
saying, you had
bigger
thousands of photos. Yeah, for those guys, do you? So what I was thinking, so before, in a prior life, I did project leadership. And one of the major things was always to manage expectation. So as you were sharing, and I'm not a photographer,
expert. What I was thinking is maybe you could have some type of onboarding process for your client where you ask them if you could have 3 amazing photos out of this event, what would they be? And that way, since you start with the end in mind with what they're looking for most, then you can focus your attention on delivering those things and then kind of use that as a gauge to cut down on what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
was just my thought I wanted to share. That makes sense. I know for a lot of the nonprofit stuff, there's like, all right, here's a shot list. You've got to give these people, and I have that, or like a wedding, like these are the people, these are the names, but that makes sense for, and even, you know, where would you like to use these photos? Like if there's something, it might be a different view if they're using it for social media campaigns versus for some other type of advertising campaign. There might be some nuances, and you know better than I, but there might be some nuances that you could pull out from them in advance that will allow you to cut your work down so you don't have to do so much. It's just a thought. Thank you. You're welcome.
How are you? Thank you so much, first of all, stepping up at the absolute last minute to be our presenter. And I actually came up to give some suggestions. I like the idea. I think it was, they said to have 2 separate websites for your work. I thought that was a great idea. That's the first thing I thought about. And maybe the room photos might be the one for those little spicier things. But also, what do you do to get people, it's a question before. How do you find people when you're out and about? Do you have a nice little 30-second commercial? Do you have business cards? What do you do personally to talk about your brand and get people to come to your website?
I buy business cards once a year.
Okay.
Those are too expensive. I buy business cards from Mood with that soft touch because they're amazing.
Okay.
I buy them once a year and I keep them on me, but I have virtual, what are they? You know.
Digital business.
Blink.
Wait, okay, cool. What about getting a sign and putting it on the side of your car with your phone number? I know it sounds a little hokey, but these things work because as a salesperson, I was always out looking for leads and I would see people's names and I would write them down, or I would catch up with them on the freeway and take a picture of it real quick so I could reach out and call them. So that may not be bad to get, something you can put on the side of the car, photography, something real simple, and it's tax deductible as well. So just a couple of quick ideas, but I think you do amazing work. I've hired Karmen. She's going to be my photographer. My wife and I will be celebrating our 30th anniversary. And I haven't told my wife yet, but she's going to meet us at dinner and she's going to take photos for us. And feel free to use them any way you want, as long as they're good looking. Oh.
I'm sorry, I gotta come back on that. One more thing to say, Daryl just reminded me. Do you ever partner with videographers?
I have not partnered, but I will let you finish asking your question, but I have a bunny trail. A few years ago, I did something called Queer Book, and it was like a yearbook for all the queers. And I did like mock collections for them, and I did a video series with a handful of my friends that are like, what do you do other than drink? What do you do other than go out? And I did this video series, and it's still up on YouTube, and I shot and edited it and did hand typed, transcripted the videos and all of that. And I really, really loved editing video. And I still do. So I haven't partnered with a videographer because I geek out at editing video as well, but I would love to. But that video project was one of my favorite projects that I've done. And then I did a paired photography series with it. Because at the end of the day, what I like to do is storytelling. Like that's it. It's like people are like, do you do headshots? Sure. But like, I'd rather do a creative portrait session with a story or take video or whatever. So yes, I'd love to work with
So
an
you,
actual videographer.
so do you do videos? Do you do them yourself?
I have, yeah, I have, but I don't like leading with, I'm a videographer because I'm not. I'm a photographer.
I say that because as we know, a picture says 1,000 words, but a video tells a story, right? And partnering with videographers, there's plenty here, in Michigan that you can to combine efforts. And then you might meet the videographer who doesn't like the editing part, and you can kind of help with that. I hate editing. I definitely have to do my own editing. I don't, you guys are a rare breed. So, that's something, I just want to mention it because Daryl mentioned brand story and storytelling. And hearing you say that you love storytelling, that is the thing I think a lot of, especially for the mini sessions, they may want to see a little bit more of that. There's the portraits and the stills, but if you kind of incorporate maybe some movement and some video in it, it could make those sessions better. And then, like you said, charge, you get a deposit. Calendly has that function. You can get a deposit before they show up.
Thank you.
Second, create a project and they will come. Do a large project and get businesses to feed into it. I did one project where I actually shot for half a day, charged $12,000 for one client, and I'm planning to multiply that. So just make up one and have people come to you. And that way it's going to be more value.
I have some, just for your eyes, I have some pictures over there if you want to look.
All right, we have the wonderful Vicky Winkler online. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
Vicky says she works with many nonprofits and would like to connect you with them. She wants to help promote you. So, and she says that brides are very different than other targets for photography, branding. So it's important that it speaks to them or separate out the branding, which someone did say about getting two different websites. So that was Vicky's feedback for you.
And if you've gone to my website since you've been out there, I do a lot of things. Henceforth, the website is KarmenElaine.com, and it's sectioned off by all the things that I do. So you can just go to the client galleries and see all of the galleries. It's not a traditional portfolio website where you will see all of the images together as like, this is a photographer's website, and then you'll see like booties next to something else. So.
Thank you, Carmen. Let's give Carmen a round of applause. Thank you.
You want this one? Oh my God.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful feedback that you provided. We have what time is it? Now we have 10 more minutes, so we have enough time to go over the events that we have coming up. Daryl, can you, because I don't have a clicker. Giveaway, Josh. David. David. Yeah. I know this will be a try. No, you all don't look alike at all.
My beard doesn't, I don't have the beard. So as you guys know, we do a lot of social media stuff for 1 Million Cups. We have a LinkedIn account. We would love for you to follow us on LinkedIn. We're actually going to have a contest. And so there's a post today that if you like it and share it, we'll enter you into our contest. We're going to do a giveaway next Wednesday. We're going to pick a winner and give away some cool swag and other unnamed fun gifts. And so pretty simple to find us on LinkedIn. I see some of you on your phone now. I'm sure you're not texting someone. I'm sure you're going to our LinkedIn page and liking it, sharing and doing all the things. So we really would appreciate it. You know, we want people who don't live in our area to watch us online on our YouTube feed, right? Live stream, spread the word. It helps all of our presenters. It helps people in business because we don't live in a very small society like we used to. It's, you know, a global world. So thank you.
Thank you, David. All right, we have a couple of different events that we have coming up. One is Master Client Attraction, Build a Profitable Business. It's going to be held on March 7th. of this year. And this is one of the few events that we are promoting that actually has a cost associated with it. And it is $350 per person. And it is going to be located at the Freedom Room in Madison Heights. And that's going to be with Shane. Here, Shane, are you here? Shane, come on up and say something about your event.
She's right.
Hi. So I'm going to be hosting this workshop in collaboration with the Madison Heights Hazel Park Chamber. So I am a business strategist before I own a physical location, which is very different. So I have been a business strategist for 8 years, helping a lot of women business owners how to build an online presence, how to make and communicate emotions, how to build a brand online. And then I transitioned over to having a physical location, so it's totally different. So with this workshop, it's really helping small business owners really to identify who their ideal client is, because it's very key to making all your business decisions. So it's about wording, marketing, what color you choose, but really what do you say, how to solve their problems. So that's like number one is key. But then I'm gonna walk you through a cycle. So it's a 4-hour workshop. So basically I'm just gonna teach the first hour, but it's a very small and intimate. So we're not going to have a big group because I want to make sure that everyone that comes there is having a hands-on, not just having tools, but we're going to walk you through the tools. I'm going to teach you how I am leveraging AI to really fast track a lot of things. So you're not spending hours there. So I'm going to give you templates and everything, but really it's working through your business. So when you walk away, you're like, I haven't actually planned, but I know what to execute next. So that's really what the whole goal of the workshop is. So that way you'll walk away with tools, but knowing what steps to take. And this is really to get to the nitty gritty of your business.
Thank you, Shane. In addition to that, we will have next Wednesday our Oakland Thrive with the Purpose Black History Tribute with presenter Paul Bryan, a CPA with Plants Moran, and we're excited to have him present here right after our meeting next week. In addition to that, we have any restaurateurs that are here. We will be having our in-house restaurant consultant, Donna Bowers. She's going to be presenting on next Monday. And that is, you can go to the Oakland Thrive, you can go to our website. The event is on our website. You can go there and register for it. If you are in the hospitality business and you need help with planning in hospitality, Donna is our in-house expert. She will be able to help you. And just as a reminder, we do have lots of, for those of you all who have not interfaced with any of our consultants, we do direct consulting, and then we also have B2B experts that cover the areas of human resources, accounting, marketing, business consulting, IT, as well as legal. So if you need help in any of those areas, we have free help available. So there's some real value to knowing somebody from Oakland Thrive and getting in the mix with one of your consultants. So I don't know how many of you have actually gone through the process of working with a consultant? That's a good show of hands. How many of you are thinking about it? Okay, good. And the last thing I want to say is, please, everyone, we want to make certain that we capture everyone's name who's here today. So please, if you haven't signed in, please take a moment to do so that we can capture, because we have to justify doing this event as Oakland Thrive. So if you don't have your names, they're looking at us with a screw face. And so, yes, right, Nia? And so please, please sign up. And I think with that, anything that you wanna convey to the folks?
That's all. We will put the QR code back up if you haven't signed up yet. So that way you can go online and sign up as well.
Can we put it up there now?
Go to the tablet and put it back.
Yeah.
And don't forget other phone.
Yes, and if you know what, you all saw the wonderful work that Karmen Elaine does, and you get to be memorialized in one of her photos today, because she's going to take it, and we want to get everybody to just gather around. If you have a 1 million cup cup in your hand, please get prepared to show it. Carmen, are you ready? Okay. And any other announcements?